triple-double for the season. James Harden became the first player in Rockets history to record a triple-double in 3 consecutive games in a win over the Wizards. And King James had 26 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists in a win over the Pelicans. So through 10 weeks of the season, ESPN has Harden leading the NBA player rankings, followed by Westbrook and Anthony Davis, with LeBron ranked 6th. Max Kellerman, at this moment in time, who is your NBA MVP?
The NBA MVP is obviously, as it always is at every moment of every season, LeBron James, and it's not hard. I'm not talking about who's actually going to win the award. I know it's going to come down. My preseason pick was Westbrook. I think he's going to win it. Harden's going to give him his best run. We all knew this going into the season. And Westbrook, by the way, got ejected the other night. They lost by 30 as a result. I mean, Westbrook's doing it by himself. He has teammates, but he's the engine on that team, and Harden's doing great. But let me ask you this. Because football and baseball are luck dependent. The best team does not always win the championship. In the NBA, this is not a college tournament, one and done, where you get, a lucky bounce one way or another. This is the best of 7 series. In the NBA, the best team always wins. And if you accept that as the premise, I think most of us do, I certainly do, the best team wins, then ask yourself this. Which player in the NBA gives his team every single year the best chance to win a championship? It's so clearly LeBron James. Don't tell me, oh, it's just a regular season award. Okay, but you can take some liberties with that because it's nonsense. If you took LeBron James and took him off the Cavs and put him on the Rockets and put Harden on the Cavs, which team just got better? Which team just increased their probability of winning the championship? It is clearly the Rockets. Same thing with Oklahoma City. Take Westbrook, put him on the Cavs. Take LeBron, put him on OKC. Obviously, OKC's chances just got better. And I don't want to hear about the fit in personnel. Everyone knows what I mean. LeBron James is, and always is, in every season, your NBA MVP. And this season is no different.
I'm very uncomfortable with this conversation because I recognize that LeBron James is a 3-time champion. He's the king. He deserves his acclaim and his respect. And I truly appreciate him as a player, as a role model, as a person. But I'm sorry, you disqualify yourself for MVP honors when you consider the fact that the MVP award is a regular season award and it's designated for players who show up every night and play, barring injuries. You are talking about a guy like LeBron James who, with a smile on his face and depending on what day it is, with a pristine suit on, looking all dapper, refuses to play because he's taking rest, on road games and beyond, smiling in folks' face because he's taking the day off. I am not giving you MVP consideration when you so blatantly do that. We're not talking his skills. We're not talking his credentials and his resume. We're talking about MVP and what comes with it. You don't do that and consider yourself an MVP in my mind. Now let's get back to brass tacks in terms of guys and how they're performing. Russell Westbrook has been sensational. James Harden is something special. James Harden would be my choice. He's averaging 28, 12, and 8 on 44% shooting, 35% from three-point range. I would also like to add that he is playing for a Houston Rockets team, Max, that is 27-9, and they are the 3rd-ranked team in the West. And before we go any further, we're talking about LeBron James, who won 2 championships with D. Wade and Chris Bosh, okay? We're talking about a LeBron James who won an additional one with Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, and the crew. We are talking about a James Harden right now. Let me just give you the starting 5 for the Houston Rockets. Trevor Ariza with Harden. Montrezl Harrell out of Louisville, who was in the NBDL, by the way. Ryan Anderson, who's a good shooter, and Corey Brewer. I'm not casting shade on any of those dudes.
Yes, you are.
I'm quite sure. Listen, they belong in the NBA. I respect them. But come on now, it's a difference. 27-9 right now. If I had to vote, James Harden would be my MVP. And Coach Mike D'Antoni would be my NBA Coach of the Year. These guys are doing a phenomenal job. There is no doubt. Now, Russell Westbrook's been sensational, but they're 21-14. They've lost games they should have won. I'm looking at Houston. I'm looking at their style of play. I'm looking at the way they beat Golden State. I'm looking at the way that they have performed. And I'm saying, look, these dudes can scare anybody. And what they were last year when Dwight Howard was on the crew, I never saw this coming. James Harden is sensational.
I did see this coming. I knew Mike D'Antoni, if he wants to work with James Harden, it's because he needs that point guard muse, and James Harden would be it. He'd put up Popeye numbers, and they'd win a lot in a crowd-pleasing way, and ultimately they'll get knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. We know what this is going to be. We've seen this movie before. LeBron James,
we know the second round. We know they might lose in the conference round, but they could beat anybody else.
I don't think so, but okay. Well, the point is it's academic. They ain't winning no championship. That's out. And by the way, when James Harden, yes, they were younger, whatever, played with Russell Westbrook and KD and Serge Ibaka, they also didn't win a championship.
They should have.
Now, technically, technically, if you want to really nerd out on the definition of a regular season MVP and all this, yes, you can give it to Westbrook or Harden or KD or Steph in the last several years, as they once upon a time gave it to Charles Barkley or Karl Malone. That was cute. Michael Jordan was the MVP of the NBA every single season, and it was not close, and it's the same thing in this era. LeBron James is by so far the best player in basketball, and yes, that includes the regular season. Who makes their team function at the highest possible level, gets the most out of everybody so that they give themselves the best chance to win a championship, which is the point of the regular season too, by the way. The answer is and has always been in this era, LeBron James. Everything else is details.
Last point. I'm tired of you bringing up Michael Jordan. And I'm not comparing, and this is unfair to LeBron for us to compare him to that. But in terms of is LeBron James on as global and iconic figure as he is, was he in Michael Jordan? I mean, Michael Jordan.
No, there's only one Jordan.
Okay, fine. Forget Michael Jordan's stats, numbers, and all of that stuff. There's only one number that I want you to pay attention to for the purposes of this conversation.
82, 82, 81.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, 9 times Michael Jordan played all 82 games. By the way, excuse me, the last years of the three-peat, he never missed a game during his last three-peat. And when he was getting ready to retire, when he was old, a bit heavier, didn't have the spring in his step, he was over 40. Okay, I'm sorry, he was 39 years of age in the 2002-2003 season. Michael Jordan played all 82 games at the age of 39. And those 9 times, there were 2 other seasons where he played 81 games, 80 games, and 78 games. And at no time in his career, when the game was more physical, when you actually didn't get thrown out for having bad breath, when you actually had to punch somebody to get ejected, and all of this other stuff, when all of that was going on, Michael Jordan never missed a game. Michael Jordan never, ever asked to miss a game, and he damn sure didn't sit on a bench in a suit smiling at everybody like he didn't give a damn that he missed the game. So what I'm saying
is, he played defense all season long.
Well, again, I'm not trying to compare, because I think that's unfair to LeBron. What I'm simply pointing out, and let us not forget this, it's not about missing games. It's that you have been 100% healthy and literally looked into the camera and said, I got a proven track record. I don't have to answer this. I've established myself. Nobody even deserves the right to question.
He's right.
Wait a minute. No.
He only suffers in comparison to Jordan.
Time out. We're not talking about ability. We're not talking about any of that. When you are asking people to pay their money, you don't get a right to say that.
No, I thought you were trying to win championships.
You don't get a right to say that. You don't get a right to say that. You don't get a right to sit up there and go like this. I'm not going to tell you when I'm not showing up.
Is Jordan playing for the Houston Rockets? No. Is Jordan playing for OKC? If he is, you're right. LeBron's not MVP. Michael Jordan's not in the league right now?
He's not in the league right now, but I'm saying to you.
And LeBron's better than those guys.
Listen, it's not a matter of who's better.
Of course it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because sometimes it's about who's having a better year. LeBron is not having a better year than James Harden.
You know what we'll show?
He's not having a better year.
Okay, let me ask you.
That's not going to say that.
Are Harden or Westbrook getting to the finals?
Let me ask you a question. Go ahead. If LeBron were playing with the groove that James Harden is playing with,
they'd be better than what they are now.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure? I'm not sure about that.
I'm sure.
Listen,
and if Harden was playing,
I am in no way saying that James Harden
was playing for Cleveland, maybe worse.
You're not. I'm not letting you get away with changing the argument. I am not saying James Harden is better than LeBron James.
Oh.
I am saying this year.
Yes.
This year.
Yes.
James Harden has been more worthy of the MVP title than LeBron.
I don't know about
that's what I'm saying.
Worthy based on your ethical criteria.
Ethical and production.
Every time LeBron steps on the court, he's the best player on the floor.
But he doesn't always step on the court. That's the key
and not
point.
only that, there have been times this year where Kyrie Irving was the best.
No.
Yes.
No, Kyrie's the best when LeBron allows him to be.
Gentlemen, to be continued. Did you all see this fight? Ronda Rousey goes down for the second straight fight after getting KO'd in less than a minute. Should Rousey call it quits? That discussion is a part of Quick Takes. They're going to be hot, and that is next.
And don't cry.